So let me talk about a study partner, because some of you may be struggling to find a study partner, and you have to find a study partner from the beginning. Don't tell me I'm going to be practicing alone. It's not enough, because in the exam you wouldn't be talking alone. You would be interacting with someone, and you need to get used to interacting with someone that would be your study partner. It may be difficult to find a partner who clicks, and you may need to go through a few partners. Like for me, I went through around 2 until I found a study partner, that we're on the same wavelength, we understand each other, we're willing to help each other. If you feel that you're not learning anything from your study partner, just cut it off, okay? You have to learn, both of you, from each other. Someone who's willing to help and doesn't slow you down, most importantly, and who's willing to incorporate your study style into theirs and vice versa as well. So both of you have to be flexible. You can have more than one study partner, because sometimes due to time zone differences and due to work and family commitments, you may find a study partner who's able to practice once or twice a week only with you. Okay, yeah, if you click together and you're benefiting from each other, practice, okay, with each other. But then again, find another study partner or a small study group as well. You can practice with both. Have your topics with that study partner, your topics with your other study partner. For me, I had 2 different study partners, and I used to practice on my own as well when my study partners weren't available. And at least try to meet with your study partners from now on. Now it's June until October, or until the exam. You have July. Let's say June is going to end soon. So you have July, August, September. You have 4 months, even 5 months. That's more than enough. Okay, try from the beginning to at least practice 3 times a week minimum. Okay, there's a lot of sacrifices that come along the line, but you wouldn't regret it at the end once you take the exam and have that result that you passed the exam. Now, the other thing, apart from a study partner, would be a study plan. Don't just randomly say, okay, I'm just going to open this guideline and do this and randomly study topics. No. Print out the syllabus. Those who don't have syllabuses, I do have a syllabus on the Telegram group. I can resend it again. It's also there on the Facebook group as a PDF document. Print it out if I were you. Okay, hang it on the wall if you have a board, or don't have a board, just hang it on the wall there. And then whenever you look at the topic, so the syllabus is arranged module wise. You know that you have 14 modules. 1 case from each module will come in the exam, so that's a total of 14 cases in the exam. So you can't really cover 10 out of 14 modules, or even 13 out of 14, because there's gonna come 1 case that you wouldn't be able to do anything about. Okay, so try to cover all the modules, and you don't have to cover all the topics under, if you're very tight in time, you don't have to cover all the topics under that module, because the syllabus is very, very, very vast and a lot. So if you cover more than half or half, then that's fine. And if you're tight in time, go to the next module and then come back and finish the rest of the cases from that module you didn't finish later on, after you finish going through all of your 14 modules. And please set a timetable. Some people ask me to set a timetable for them, but it's impossible for me to do that, because I don't know what free time you have, how your commitments are. You're the only one in a position to know that, okay, I have 4 hours a day or 4 hours a day I can practice on. I'm excluding my long days. I won't be able to practice on them. Take them out and see how many days a week you can practice, how many hours each day, and then put your timetable according to that. Okay, and try to put a timetable in a way that a month, at least, please, a month before the exam, you have finished going through everything. If you're joining a course, follow the timetable of that course, because I'm sure courses don't do cases randomly, they go through them module wise. So follow them. If they're starting with urogynecology, okay, you start reading the topics under urogynecology, practice the cases that were in the course, and then cover the rest of the cases on your own, because there's no course that would give you every single case in the syllabus. It's impossible. It's a lot. So you do understand now how to cover that module if they do explain that to you, and then you go on and practice the rest of the cases, go through the recalls, cover Urogyne, and before you come into the next session, which will cover another module in the course you're attending, you would have finished from that one, and then you go for the fertility module and you start with them. So if you're joining a course, follow that. If not, do it on your own. Have your own timetable. Okay. And while studying, like I said, have a separate notebook for you to put down your template and also any information that you get from any courses or any free sessions, tips, write them down. Have small flashcards for sentences. I used to do that. I loved it. Like if a patient is angry, what sentences I can use. I have like a collection of a few sentences that I can use according to what they say when they're angry or upset. So you have like a variety of sentences so you don't get stuck in the middle. Sentences if like a patient, you're going to break bad news, empathy. If not, don't have only one empathy sentence. Have a few, because you don't know with that sentence that you memorize, would it be suitable for that specific patient in front of you? So have a few sentences and just find the one that is suitable. And you have that in small flashcards, okay? Another flashcard can be for sentences to use when you're negotiating with a patient. She's asking for a treatment that is not recommended, or she's refusing a certain treatment. Have a few sentences. Another flashcard for sentences, communication sentences you can use with teenagers or young adults as well. That would help you a lot towards the end. And when you're practicing with your study partner or presenting a case to a tutor or someone, look at those flashcards. I always tell my students, look at your template, look at your answer that you made. Have your notebook in front of you and do that if you're struggling. Okay, at least you would be presenting it the right way, and in turn you would be practicing it the right way, because it's just considered practice. Courses are not exams, they're just to help you practice and prepare. In terms of study duration, I see a lot of people saying that, okay, we can guarantee that if you study for 3-4 weeks, a month is enough. It's not enough. Okay, I've been there before. It's completely not enough. I did that mistake the first time. I had 3 weeks only to prepare for my part 3. That was my first attempt, and I failed all domains, to be honest. Very, very low pass mark. And I knew where I went wrong. I didn't have a study partner. I just went through a few leaflets and I said, okay, my English is good. I'm not going to struggle. I practiced on my own a little bit. I didn't have a study plan or a timetable. I didn't go through recalls. I just went in there blindly. The second time when I prepared again, so I took a gap of 3 months, and then my next exam was on May. So I started from February. So I had February, March, and April, 3 months. I had 2 study partners. I put my timetable, the syllabus that I've shared, that's the one that I put on my own while I was studying. And the PDF documents I have on my Facebook and Telegram group in terms of layman terminology sentences or communication sentences to use, that was all that I did, that all on my own. Okay, so you can do that on your own. Have your own sentences, have your own study material. And then I just committed to my timetable. I was going module by module, covering all the cases, making sure I understood how to approach that module in terms of domains, because the domains, for example, for Urogyne, all the cases under Urogyne domains are somehow the same. Okay, when you go to fertility, the domains, the points under those 5 domains, they differ from that in urogynecology, but they're one way or another the same for the whole fertility module. So you really have to understand how to cover the domains under each module, if someone is going to teach you that. And then after that, you start preparing cases. It will be very difficult to start preparing cases without understanding. And if you don't have a resource, you haven't joined a course, go to the MRCOG website, read through the syllabus there. Okay, that's how I understood my domains from them. They have Under Eurogyne, they tell you under safety, this is what expected from a candidate, under knowledge, under colleagues, under communication with patients and information gathering. Go through that, understand it, and then go and practice your cases. So for study duration, I will say around 4 months, it's perfect. Even 3 months is good. Less than that, if you're preparing for the first time, you'll be very, very tight in time unless you study every single day for at least 12 hours. And I know that's impossible. And the reason why I'm saying 4 months, around 4 to 5 months, is that for each, you have 14 modules. For each module, you want a week. Small modules like early pregnancy care, oncology, you can finish them in 3 days. So you can cover the small modules, 2 modules a week. You can completely cover it with all the cases. The other bigger modules, you need a week, like maternal medicine, Eurogyne, infertility, week. So that's how you set your timetable. Like I said, have 1 month at least for you to be free and revise everything, do mock exams, do mock circuits with your study partner, like random cases, like you do 7 cases back to back and they do 7 cases back to back. Okay, Mar asked how to join Telegram group. Yes, I have all your emails. We're going to send you emails with all the links, okay? So what to expect from now on until the exam day? Just a second. So having said that, the part 3, you know, all of you, it's an oral exam. The result entirely depends on the way you communicate, the way you present your knowledge and competencies to the examiner, okay? No coaching or mentoring or courses or groups can be ideal, perfect, or complete. Why? That's because your learning is an individual process and unique only to you. And every person has their own deficiencies and strengths. Not all of you are the same. Like, you can have 3 candidates starting for the first time their journey to prepare for the part 3. Let's say I'm teaching the 3 of them. Candidate number 1 can pick up communication with patients really quickly, and from the second session, they're really good in communication. The other 2 candidates may struggle. That doesn't mean they're not intelligent, they're not good, no, but that's not their area of strength. Another candidate number 2 may not be good at communicating, but may be good in picking up communication with colleagues, mentioning the colleagues that need to be there. Candidate number 3 may not be good in communication, knowing colleagues, but their history taking is perfect. Okay, so don't be discouraged if you have your other colleagues who are presenting cases in front of you, you're listening, they're really good, they've been given really good feedback, and you feel that you're not that good. You don't have to be the same. Okay, so that's why your learning is unique to you. By receiving feedback on your performance, you're going to polish your communication skills, and you're going to be aware of what you say, how you say it to the patient and the examiner, because that is the first step to successful communication. Knowing how to communicate with patients, knowing how to communicate with the examiner. And please don't follow superficial learning by just looking for an easy and quick fix, okay? And just being dependent on either your tutors who are teaching you on the course, or being dependent on ready-made answers that are there for the recalls. Try, if you're struggling for a case, for example, before you put down the question and say how I would answer it, I would really appreciate, let's say you're sent on my Telegram group saying, how would I approach a case with androgen syndrome? Instead of you writing that question, I would appreciate that you give it a try. Say, okay, this is what I think of, or this is what I came up with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then someone would correct you, so you would know, okay, was I thinking the right way in terms of when I read the guideline and the leaflet and put down my answer, or was I doing it the wrong way? So you'll get corrected and you will know if you're doing it was right or wrong. Comparing it to when someone just gives you the answer like that, you will forget it. You will never ever remember it that easily. So if you have a difficulty with a case, just try to do it on your own, even if it's bad, it doesn't matter. Search for it and then go and ask someone for the answer and compare the answers. Okay. So it's at the end for preparing for the part 3, especially for overseas, it's a learning process. Start taking small steps, but have these steps consistently until you reach your goal. So work hard. The more oriented you become with regards to the exam, with regards to your modules, with regards to the domains under your modules, and with regards to the NHS system, how it works when patients are referred, when they're not referred, who do you refer them to? If you want to refer them to a dietitian, how are you going to do that? You're not going to do that on your own. Usually be through the GP. If you want to refer to another speciality, if it's not an emergency, usually be through the GP. So understanding these, when you do understand all of these, you will be really good in your communication because you will just be focusing on that. And when you're good in communication, you will be covering indirectly all the domains that are needed. Okay, so by that time, when you take all of these small baby steps and you start improving, when the exam comes, you'll have a subconscious behavior and attitude that you developed over a period of time during your preparation, because it's a whole new different system. It's different from the system that you are practicing on at the moment. It's not something that you can easily memorize and pick up. You're going to struggle, okay? So take your time to understand and absorb the information, learn how to communicate with patients, and everything else will come flowing. Knowledge, you have it in your head. If you know how to explain it in simple language to patients, then it wouldn't be difficult, it would be easy, and you won't be missing on information. Safety as well, being aware of how am I going to cover safety, what is safety under NHS, what do they look for. If you understand that, then you'll be able to cover safety in each and every single scenario, even if it's a scenario you did not practice before. Okay, because it's always about mindset. Safety is not about memorizing. Knowledge, yes, it's about memorizing. Colleagues, half. Half of it memorizing, half of it is understanding the system. And information gathering is about memorizing as well. But all of the rest is just your basic understanding. Does anyone have any question? You can just click on the hand, or you can type it down. Latte, did you just click on the hand now for a question? Because your hand's been raised for, a few minutes now. Okay, I'll mute you because I'm not sure if you wanted to ask a question. If you wanted to ask a question, you can unmute yourself. No questions? Okay, that's fine. Okay, Rakita asks, in case of endometrial hyperplasia who had come to discuss the report, do we ask about post-procedure recovery as well? So it would depend. If she had it as a PPL biopsy in the clinic, that's fine. You don't have to ask about the recovery. If she had it as a hysteroscopy, yeah, you can ask about the recovery. But if it was something done in clinic, she would be awake and conscious. She wouldn't be under anesthesia. But if it was in theatres, then yes, ask about the recovery. It's a good way to create a rapport with the patient at the beginning, okay, and involve her before you actually go and discuss the results. Okay, sorry, I had my camera off because when I was going through the screen, I couldn't see anything. So before we go and talk about our next examples, just please, key takeaways from what we've discussed so far is that when you learn something, you have to know if you don't use it, you lose it. Okay, so don't just study, practice, use it, discuss it, and teach. Spend more time on reflecting and practicing and discussing or teaching it to one of your colleagues more than when you're reading and preparing the case scenario. And the last thing is that apply our 4-step process to each topic you read before going to the other. That's how you will ensure that you fully covered it, and then you go to the other topic.